All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. So glad to have you here like always. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than normal. As you can see, in one of the last videos that I made, I told you guys I was going to be showing you some of the products that I use during the breeding season in order to not only stimulate the birds to breed, get them into the proper breeding condition, but also get them prepared to be able to feed their own chicks and have a successful breeding cycle. So let's go over some of these things today, and I'll show you what exactly it is that I use. Now, this is an old bottle of Calca Mineral, which is a mineral substance that is used. It's given to the birds in order to help them have a higher calcium in their body, especially for egg-laying hens. So Calca Mineral is a food supplement for pigeons, but it is also good for finches and other birds, and it contains minerals, vitamins, and trace elements. And this is something that you add either to their food, their egg food. You can give it to them by itself. It doesn't have to be mixed in with anything, but you can also mix it with a variety of other foods that you're giving them. Now, in this bottle, I don't have any Calca Mineral in this bottle. What I have at the moment is just eggshells. Now, these are just normal eggshells that I grab and I boil, and I shred them up into this fine powder like this, and then I also give this as a supplemental calcium intake. The Calca Mineral looks a little bit different. It's actually in this bag right here, and I'll show you guys what it looks like right now. Let me pull some out. All right, so Calca Mineral is very powdery. It's like a powdery substance, and it's quite sticky. Like it leaves this chalk-like resins, but it's very good. The birds seem to love it, so I continuously offer it to them during the breeding season. Now, moving over to the next thing that we use, it's Probiotic, and this is a probiotic that I offer the birds, and I give it to them inside of their seed, inside of their egg food, inside of their sprouted seeds, whatever it is that you're going to offer it, you can mix it in to that. And probiotics are very good for the gut flora of your birds. So this is something that is very important to add to their daily nutrition. And it is something that is even more important to give your birds if you've recently done a treatment of some sort of medication, because this is what's going to help to get their gut flora in their stomach back to normal, having those healthy gut bacteria in there again. Following next is Exact hand feeding formula. Now, this is something that every single person who has an aviary should always keep on hand, because you never know when you're going to have to hand feed a baby bird. And this is by far, in my opinion, one of the best hand feeding formulas that is out there for baby birds. Not only is it a good hand feeding formula, but this is also something that I like to incorporate into the egg food when I notice that there are chicks inside of the nest that are falling behind. So if I have any chicks that are falling behind, I add this to that pair's egg food, and I've noticed a difference because this has a bunch of vitamins, minerals, it's high in protein. It has pretty much everything that the baby bird needs in order to survive. So if I'm noticing that that bird is falling behind inside of the nest, or they're not looking very good, I like to add this to that pair specific egg food formula, and I see that it makes a difference in them. So just a tip, if you guys have that or are going through that problem, this is something that you guys can use. Next up on the list is a fruit blend. Now, I've gone over this in one of the recent videos that I did talking about vegetables and fruits that you can give to your birds. And I showed you guys this raft product that I like to use, and it is a alternative to fruits. Pretty much what it is, it's almost like fruit pellets, and they work great. The birds love them. They're high in amino acids, vitamins, and even protein that the birds need. You just have to be careful. Don't overdo it. Don't give too much of it, just because of the fact that it does contain sugar, and it is something that some birds may become obese if you offer too much of it. Next one in line is going to be the same thing, but in the vegetable form. It's like the same exact thing as this one right here, but this one is fruits, and then this one is vegetables. Same thing goes for it. It's a good supplement to give the birds. It's just an alternative to vegetables, and you can offer it to them, and you're going to notice the difference. The birds love to feed this to their chicks. Next on the list, we have Necton. Now, Necton is a supplement that I like to give the birds just to get them into the proper breeding condition. Here we have Necton E, and Necton E is just pretty much vitamin E, and it is extremely good for birds because Necton E, what it does is it stimulates the birds to breed. Vitamin E pretty much is like the Viagra in the bird world. So if you're having birds that are having a hard time getting them into the proper breeding condition, and you've tried everything, you've already increased their protein, you're offering sprouted seeds, and you don't know what else to do, offer Necton E. This is going to be a great substance to get your birds into the proper breeding condition. Next, we have Necton S, and Necton S is a multivitamin supplement for the birds. So this is just a variety of different types of vitamins that the birds are going to need in order to stay healthy. It also contains 18 amino acids, and it has ingredients like dextrose, calcium, and salicylic acid. It has everything to keep your birds in a healthy diet. So this is also a very good supplement, and the good thing is that this can be mixed with the Necton E, so you can combine both of these and give it to the bird at once. You can either do it in the water, or you can do it in their egg food, or even in their seed mix. Now, personally, my favorite method of giving these two products is in the egg food. Why? Because it's a little bit easier and the birds waste less of it. If you do it in the water, you have to mix a lot more of it. The birds will not drink all of the water, and you can only leave it in there for one day, so you'd have to prepare more of it the following day. So if you want to save it, and this is not a cheap product either, the best way of giving it, in my opinion, is going to be in your egg food. All right, moving on, we have Ultra Care Mites and Lice. This is a lifesaver right here. Why? Because every time that you finish breeding, every time that a clutch jumps out of a nest, you have to pull that nest out and clean it. And one of the best things to do for that nest is to spray it down with this right here. Now, I like to spray it with this because it makes sure that the nest stays clean and makes sure that there are no lice or mites or anything like that inside of that nest. So it's a very good thing to keep in hand just in case for whenever you need it, especially if you're going to have multiple clutches within that cage. It's good to spray down the nest with this substance right here. And then finally, as you guys all know, the main ingredient to a successful breeding season. We have your dry egg food on this side. We have your sprouted seeds on this side. Now, this is one of the best mixes that I like to do in order to get my birds ready for the breeding season, in order to get them feeding their chicks, in order to get them to successfully fledge the chicks, and even the chicks when they're weaning and learning to eat on their own. This is going to be the best thing for them because it is a soft egg food. It's something that is very easily digestible and easy for them to find and crack open. You have to remember that those young chicks, they don't have the same strength in the beak that the adults have, so they're going to have a harder time cracking open the dry seeds. So the wet seeds or the sprouted seeds and the soft egg food, it's going to be a great option for them to start learning how to eat some of these things before they can move on to the dry seeds. All right, guys, that's pretty much going to be it for all of the things that I use during the breeding season. One of the last things that I will tell you to have that I usually have on hand, but I don't have any now, I have to order more, is liquid calcium. Now, liquid calcium is a great thing to keep on hand because it's one of the best ways to get an egg-laying hen to lay her egg if she's egg-bound. For example, if that egg-laying hen, if you see that she's fluffed up and you know she's ready to lay an egg and she's already fluffed up, the one thing that I love to do is I grab her and I give her 1 to 2 drops of liquid calcium in the beak. And by the next morning, that hen has already laid her egg. And this is going to be a lifesaver. So make sure that you also have some liquid calcium. Not only do you, or can you give it to them, to the beak and drop points like that when you notice that the hens need it, but you can also incorporate it into the water, and it is going to make a huge difference in the results at the end of the year. I guarantee you're going to lose less hens if you have some sort of liquid calcium form in your aviary. Like always, guys, I hope that you all have a wonderful day. Hopefully, you guys have learned a little bit more about some of the things that I like to use for my breeding season to make sure that the birds stay healthy and to make sure that I have a successful season. Like always, hope you all have a wonderful day. We will see each other in the next video.